Getting up to speed with Ecamm. This is the series for you. We're covering all functions, features, utilities, hacks, and best practices. But in this video, we're going to look at Ecamm design. This is how you punch up your engagement. This is how you put your fingerprint on your content and your live shows. Let's dive in. There is a ton of features. In fact, a very recent update to Ecamm Live, Ecamm rolled out what I like to call the Canva update, right? They gave us so much design functionality within the platform. It's almost like they opened up the hood, crammed Canva inside and closed it back down. And I even have a video where I go over that, and I'll put a card right here so that you can check that video out if you so desire. We'll go over a number of things here, but in that video I go over some other things that you may want to see. So here we are, live demo mode inside Ecamm again. I have not removed any of the things that I have added from the previous videos, so they're all here on the screen. And let me just say, if you haven't gotten a chance to check out some of the previous videos, you might want to go ahead and do that, because this is video number 3 in a series that we're going through looking at Ecamm. Video number 1 was full platform overview. Video number 2 is where we got a chance to look at profiles, scenes, and overlays, critical for success with Ecamm. And then now here we're going to be looking at design. So one of the things I want to do here is, in our last video, we created this overlay. And one of the things when you're designing, one of the things that can be very annoying is that, of course, you have these things on the screen. So a keystroke that is useful is Command tilde. Command tilde. Let's go here. Let's go back to this. Command tilde gets it clears the screen. So you notice that all of the things that were on the screen are now gone. Right? They're back, they're gone. They're back, they're gone. Now I put a timer on this, and I need to turn that off. So I'm going to turn that timer off. But the idea is you can get rid of them. You can have them come back. You can see them coming on and off screen there just by me hitting Command and tilde. So Command tilde gets rid of some of that stuff and allows you a more close way to integrate and look into what you're doing. So here I've got my name. I've got 2 squares, right? And that's all inside this group right here. Now, one of the things that I wanted to go through is you can look at some of the design elements is by clicking on the wheel, and you now have all these items here. Or if you want to just click on the pencil, right? You click on the pencil. And so the style of the text box is dynamic. There is a text shrink box, truncate, and scrolling ticker. So you have the ability to do all of those. You can also change the background of your text. You can put a gradient back there. You see what that looks like. I can put none back there because I am designing this. So you definitely want to have some things there. You also have the ability to change your text margin. You can put a border around it. So you have some design elements that in your text overlay that you don't necessarily have to use a shape overlay like what I've done in this scene, but just keeping that in mind that there are design elements here. You can, of course, set your border. You have border width. You can set your text to be a cutout, right? so that whatever your text is. Let's go back here. So however your text is set up, it will the blend mode will flip it the other way. So here, let's go to blend mode as well. So you have, normally you might have your text set up like this, where the options are not expanded. You want to make sure you expand that. Here you've got opacity, and that makes, that's a self-explanatory term in terms of opacity. Here we can do rotation, right? And so if you want your text to be at a slant or whatever, you can do that. You can change the perspective of your text. You can change the perspective on any of your overlays. Then you have the normal blend mode. I can do darken, all right, multiply, color burn. There's, linear burn. There's a lot of different options here for your blend mode. And then your transition. How do you want it to come into the screen? Do you just want it to be none? You can have it fly in from the left, right, bottom, top, or auto, right? You'll let the system decide. You can also have it spin in. And again, I don't get too crazy with this. I mean, don't let it be reminiscent of PowerPoint days from the 90s. You want to make sure that it's subtle, that it makes sense. I'm going to give you examples of a lot of these functions and features in use inside some other scenes that we've already designed, so that this video is not a 2-hour video, because design can really take a long time. Here I can drop a shadow on there. You can see just that little effect. It makes such a difference by allowing the words to pop off of its background. And so I definitely would keep that shadow on there. You can control the angle of the shadow. You can see that shadow moving around there a little bit. I wish I could kind of zoom in and change the shadow at the same time, but you can change the angle of the shadow. You can change the distance of the shadow. You have some granular functionality in terms of design here inside Ecamm, and I really love how they've done that for us. So you have those pieces. You can do your colors here, and again, keep just all of the things that I've just gone through, right? It can seem like, all right, well, that's cool, but it isn't, it's not groundbreaking. It's when you begin to stack. Let me give you this as a cheat code for Ecamm. It's when you begin to stack some of the functionality that you begin to say, okay, that's dope, right? When you stack the functionality, that's when you begin to say, no, you've got something there. And I am personally a person that sees, learns by seeing. And I'm going to actually showcase a couple of things here. Scenes that I have built out that I want you to see full screen first, and then we're going to break down what exactly are we looking at. So this right here is my podcast, Why I Go Live podcast overlay. And so on this, I've got my name here, and I've got the Why I Go Live podcast overlay right there. This is just an overlay that I exported from Canva. So, but I do want to show you in live demo mode that it's really just all I've done is just I've got these two items here. One is the one in the top corner, the other is the one in the bottom, and that's it. So that's what my overlays are. I haven't really done any design to them or anything like that. So this is a base. So one of the things I would do at the beginning of my show, I would go live or start the recording like this, and then I would go into the next scene, and you can see what this next scene is. Let me come out of live demo mode real quick, and these are both text overlays. And so I would simply read what was coming on the screen. About 1 in 5 people discover new products and brands through social media live streams. This is from GWI Social Media Trends. And then I would click the button again, which would drop down yet another paragraph, and then I would hit that again, which would drop down the last paragraph. And see, so you can still see me in the background because I've got this transparent overlay. You have these 3 boxes of text. Now that you've seen it in action, you can see what that end result looks like. Let's take a look at what exactly is involved in designing this scene. So here we go back to the beginning scene. I want you to notice that all of the text is in all the scenes. Okay, so I have these two in this scene as well, but in this first scene, right? A scene, if you remember from our last section, a scene is a group of overlays. So in this scene here, host plus stats 1, I have just the rectangle and the first blurb visible, right? So the eye on both of those are visible. So I'm just going to hide both of them again. So what is the rectangle? The rectangle is literally, it's just a rectangle. It's just a rectangle overlay that I have. The opacity is, okay, yeah, the opacity is set. I don't think I did that right. So let's do that again. So here is the rectangle. I'm going to go and hit the wheel on the rectangle, and you can see that it is just a white rectangle, right? Normal fly in from the left, right? So blend mode is normal, but fly in from the left, and that pretty much takes care of it. So you can see I can just bring it down a little bit, but the rectangle, even at its full 100% opacity, is not It's not covering me up all the way. Now you do want to play with that a little bit to figure out what's the best blend mode for you to be able to do that. So this is a rectangle. I just have that rectangle coming in from the left, and it comes in. When it comes in, then I also have the first of the text overlays come down, right? So this text overlay, I can move it around, right? If I unlock it, I can move this text overlay around, but I have it designed for it to be in the right place. I'm going to actually hit Control Z so that it goes back to where it was. I have it designed to be to look good when all three of them are on screen. So that's why I have all three of them in this first one, because I want to see what they all look like. This is set to fly in from the top. So it's flying in from the top. It does have a shadow on it, right? And it is a transparent shadow. So it does pop off of the background and allows the viewer to read along with me. So then I just hide these other two, right? And then so this is what that first scene looks like. So I come back here. So this is the scene with just my lower third. I hit the Stream Deck pedal. It drops the first one in. I hit the Stream Deck pedal. It drops the second one in. I hit the Stream Deck pedal. It drops the third one in. And that Stream Deck pedal is set to next scene. So I'm just going from scene to scene to scene. Host plus stats 1, host plus stats 2, and host plus stats 3. And once we have that, set like that. Let me go here. All right. Oh, I was hitting the wrong thing. Once we have it set like that, right? You can just kind of go through your scenes the way that you want it to be, right? And so that's an example of utilizing some of the transparency, the animation of how the different things are going to animate on screen. Having different scenes defined to have different activities so that you're just stacking. So we're stacking the functionality of overlays. We're stacking the functionality of scenes. We're stacking the functionality of the next scene shortcut by programming it to the Stream Deck pedal. And then we're just allowing it to flow very smoothly and then come back to this scene that we're on right now. So that is one example. And you can see, even with just some fairly simple overlays, we're able to have a pretty dynamic scene. Now, I'm going to go back to full screen mode here. And here I'm going to showcase one of my live shopping scenes, right? None of this is gimmicks. That's a real QR code for that real headphones that I actually use when I'm live on Amazon. This is a scene that I actually use, and you can see how it animates on screen. So I'm going to go back to host, and I'm going to go back to a different screen, a different item, and you can see what that looks like. Now let's go into live demo mode and take a look at what all we have here. Now this is a lot. I will just be honest with you that there's a lot here. So first off, and one of the things I always say when it comes on to design is you want to make sure you are keeping them in folders so you have it your design organization does not get confusing. So here I have my QR code CTA. If I hide that, you'll see the QR code goes away. And when I unhide it, you'll see it come back on screen and slide out. So this QR code is the only thing in this folder. And that QR code, I have it set to just fly in from the left. But once you set it to where it's supposed to be on screen, it kind of gives a look and feel of an accordion, right? So if I go back to my host scene here and come back to this same scene again, it makes it feel like an accordion. All of the different pieces are sliding into place. All of them are set to slide in from the left, and they're all set to go to the location that we last set them. So now here I have the lower third, and you can see this is just a bunch of boxes. Some of them are purple and some of them are white, but there's a bunch of boxes that are sliding in along with the different pieces. So here I'm taking that box away and I'm putting it back. So that's a white one. And these are just all different rectangles that I have set to different colors. So I'm just putting that as kind of a lower third background. Here is my price. And so if I hide this, you can see that price goes away. last we checked, right? Always want to make sure that I say last I checked, it's 129. So that's my price, and I can hide the whole thing, or I can just bring the whole thing back up. All right. So you have that and my price. And so if I ever want to go in and adjust that, and maybe I check right before I go live, I check that and I need to adjust that price, I can actually go right here and say, okay, it's no longer 129, it's 135. All right. So I can say that, save that. Done. That's done. Look, it's done. I've just edited that right here. This is the power of overlays, the power of design inside your broadcast. It's just my camera, and I have this thing in this lower third on here that's kind of like a accordion. Here I have the description of what it is. Shure MVX2U audio interface. I have the product, right? The actual product itself, the picture of the product. I have my logo, and that's it. That's pretty much it. And so this is what this looks like. And again, this, I'm going to go to full so you can just kind of get a feel for what that looks like. Yet again, if I go to host, this is the host screen. If I go to the MVX2U, that's what that one looks like. And this is the Me headphones, 3.5 millimeter memory wire. This could be you. This could be you if you set up your design, if you set your design right, So I'm just, again, giving you some ideas. So we looked at the podcast. We looked at some of my live shopping ones. I want to give you some examples of some scenes that I often recommend that people utilize when they are streaming. And so this one, I'm just utilizing two different cameras, right? I've got two different cameras, but I've made the corners round on the sides. So let's go back into live demo mode. I've made the corners round on the outer edges and made them square on the middle edges to kind of make it feel like the camera has kind of been separated a little bit. Again, just design functionality. I mean, in terms of, you can see what that looks like right here. I've set the outer edges to be curved on this one. And if I go to this one, it's curved on the outer edge on this one. It's just utilizing design functionality. Again, here I've given it a little bit of a shadow. You can see that shadow here. You can see that shadow on this one as well. And just kind of allowed them to be in place. Simple, nothing too major there, but I did want to kind of give you that as an example. Here's yet another scene similar to what we designed before, but in this one I do have a overlay with the line and my name on it. I have a white drop shadow behind my camera, and then I do have my slides, right? I have my slides here, and the slides have a bit of a border on them as well. So you kind of get a bit of an idea of what all is possible where that's concerned. Here's yet another placeholder, and this one is a video that's actually playing in the background there, right? So the base of this scene is a video, right? There's no, if you look in the side here, there's a couple of things on here in terms of overlays. Now I do have a camera overlay for myself. If I ever wanted to pop out on this scene, I could do that. But this is what I like to call a placeholder scene. Here I have my background items, right? So if I hide that, you can see my logo goes away, the purple goes away, the grid goes away, and I have the my intro video as get this, as a animated overlay. When you add a video, MP4 video as an overlay, you get to use it as just as you would any other video, but you can actually size it. So if I unlock this, I can actually size that video to however I want. So you can bring in a video using the overlay, the animated, this second one here is the animated overlay option, and you can bring it in. You can select an MP4, and it'll tell you, hey, you can't use any audio with this, and that's fine. In this instance, I don't care. And so here I have that. So that's the background. Bottom text. These are all those logos and icons that showcase at our KirkRNewsGen, howitallworks.com. If I hide it, you see that whole thing goes away. And again, the organization here is what I'm trying to showcase. Keeping things organized and allows you to move things all together, and it just makes it cleaner for you to be able to figure out where things are. And then of course, let's figure it out together. Probably going to change that to leverage video naturally because that's kind of my thing now. And probably should have kept my video on the screen for this while I've been talking this whole time. So, but the idea is, in terms of design, there's so much that you can do. It's unfair the amount of functions and features. It's just a matter of creativity. And again, I mean, none of this is I'm not really bringing in anything else. This is, let's figure it out together. Okay, so that's just utilizing that font. What font is that? Fixed width? I don't even know. I can't remember which font that is exactly, but either way, these are all fonts that are built into Ecamm that you can utilize as well. Together is there as well. I can hide one, I can hide the other, I can hide the two of them together. And again, this is a scene that you can build out just by stacking some of those functions and features in that we have available inside Ecamm. This is a comment scene that I love to use. Like to basically, it's just a white square, and I have just designed the comment. So if you go here to options and window, you can actually add here. Overlays, add placeholder comment overlay. And when you do that, it will allow you to add a comment overlay, and then you can design that overlay to be however you want it to be. And so here you can see I hit the pencil, I can edit the text, I can edit what the name looks like, what the comment looks like. All of those pieces are definitely things that you can absolutely utilize to dial in your branding. The other piece of this is that I've set the background on this to white so that it matches the white of this square. And this is really just a rectangle. You can see it over here. This is a rectangle. So really not doing a whole lot. I've got a white rectangle. I've got my camera off to the side of that. And then I have a comment that is set to come in from the bottom. I just designed it to where it can come in from the bottom. And so every comment that I click on when I'm using this scene will come in from the bottom, and it'll take over the place of the previous comment. So again, just design capabilities that you can utilize for yourself in that way. And this is yet just another overlay scene that I have set up for what it is I'm doing. I have my QR code here, and I also can bring in a comment, and again, you can design them however you want, and you can have them hidden and bring them up when you're ready for them, just, depending on what you have set up for that scene. I'm telling you, there is no shortage of options and opportunities for us here inside this system called Ecamm Live Pro. And I hope that this has been meaningful for you. I hope that you were able to kind of see what are some of the things that you can do. But I still got one more design that I want you to see, and that is this one. This is designed fully with Ecamm. And again, the Ecamm design is for you to be able to put your fingerprint on your content, on your live shows. And I hope that this was meaningful for you. Let me know in the comments how you're going to use this, or if you have any other questions. And I hope that you'll join us for the final video in our series, where we're going to go over utilities, hacks, multi-streaming, and several other things for understanding Ecamm Live Pro. We'll see you in the next one.